And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Zach Torres, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Kid Oozaru Goku or King Kai? Now, Dragon Ball, it comes down to two things. It comes down to your overall skill, but also your power level. Master Roshi, as skilled as he is, cannot beat Jiren, cannot beat Cell, cannot beat pretty much anyone of a certain level class after a certain amount of time. Master Roshi is highly skilled and can definitely make use of that skill, but he's just not the same. And sometimes not on the same level. And sometimes raw power can just overwhelm skill. At the same time, though, raw power with no skill is easily exploited by someone with greater skill. Again, using Roshi, he demonstrated that in Tournament of Power when he was going up against a couple individuals who were just overall stronger than him, but he was able to use his intelligence and wit and experience to beat them. Now, I use all these examples because this is there's a scenario here. There's a reason for the analogy, because King Kai is actually a bit of both. King Kai, we know, is actually a skilled martial artist. He's not a master, but master in the sense of hand-to-hand fighting. We've never actually seen him fight, but we know he is a skilled martial artist and is all right. He can fight. And he is relatively powerful for Saiyan Saga. If I'm not mistaken, King Kai power level. Let me just be certain of this, but I believe King Kai's power level is documented at around 3 grand, if I'm not mistaken. So it's revealed in the weekly jump that King Kai has a power level of 3,500, which is the same level as Piccolo in his battle against Nappa. In the video games, his power level is around 4,000, but those are the video games. We don't care about the video games. A weekly jump actually revealed it. So he's actually pretty strong power level-wise for that time frame, or for that period in the Dragon Ball story. The issue immediately just becomes that there's no version of Kid Goku. Hell, there's no even a young adult Goku. Like when he fought Piccolo in the martial arts tournament, if he had his tail and went Oozaru, still would not be stronger than King Kai. And that's young adult Goku. The strongest Kid Goku we have is roughly somewhere in like the 200 range, mid 200s. If we highball it to like the tournament level, which is around 260, that only puts him at 2,600. King Kai is almost 1,000 higher in power level. And as we saw with Piccolo versus Nappa, even a 500 gap is pretty large to deal with at that time in Dragon Ball. Nowadays, that's like chump. Like you could be, if you're that far, 500, and you were talking about billions, trillions, quadrillions, whatever the number is, and you're 500 apart, you're pretty much the same. You are so minuscule, it's not even worth mentioning apart. So, yeah, King Kai would thrash Oozaru Goku. And that's the strongest version I can create of Oozaru Goku. That's not using GT Goku, who technically is Kid Goku, but it's not. He got reverted to a younger body, but he's not a kid still. He is still an adult. He's just back in a younger form. We're talking about Kid Goku as he was in Dragon Ball. And as he was in Dragon Ball, as skilled as he was as a fighter, and he was, for all intent and purposes, King Kai still had more experience. He had more knowledge. He was just older, had been doing this longer, and he is vastly superior to Oozaru Goku. He's vastly superior to base form Goku. He's still superior by a good margin to an Oozaru Goku. So, yeah, unfortunately to be fair, the one thing Oozaru Goku does have going for him is the fact that he's a large, massive, out-of-control ape. King Kai might not immediately want to be dealing with that. Plus, in theory, the way this fight would have to take place, it would have to take place on his planet for some reason. Because King Kai never leaves his planet. And honestly, that's not to say that the Kais can't leave their planet. So that's what the whole Otherworld thing's about. Otherworld tournament. And even if you want to say, well, that's not canon. Okay, well, they still are there in the afterlife when Kid Buu shows up. So, yeah, they're capable of leaving their planets. King Kai just chooses not to. So I guess that King Kai, if he could be in a scenario where he's off his planet, maybe just running an errand or something, and ends up running across Kid Goku in Oozaru form, running amok, and decides to save the day, and he'd probably do it very quickly too. So yeah, ultimately, yeah, Kid Goku can't stack up to King Kai, sadly. King Kai's got a. If King Kai were closer to the 3 grand, like I initially guessed, it would be a closer fight because the gap would be a lot smaller. But as it stands, there's nearly 1,000 difference in power level between the two of them. Not to mention a vast wealth of experience, knowledge, and wisdom, and fighting techniques that King Kai has. Plus, King Kai has knowledge of Saiyan anatomy, so because Saiyans exist in his sector of the universe, so he knows to just take a tail off and you're good to go. So that's another exploitable weakness that King Kai has over Goku is that he actually knows what Goku's weakness is. Just got to take the tail off, and whatever edge Goku could have, gone. So yeah, King Kai's taking that fight. 110 times out of 10. Unless this is kind of a Grandpa Gohan scenario where Goku randomly transforms, taking King Kai by surprise and just stomps him to death. Which, to be fair, is still possible, even though 900 is a big gap for that time period in Dragon Ball. That's not to say someone with 1,000 less power level couldn't still beat someone with a 3,500 power level. Basically, with a difference of 1,000, the weaker individual could still, in theory, win. Is what I'm trying to imply here. So yeah, that's my thoughts though. What do you think? I think it'd be King Kai, basically every time. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you feel different. If you do, that's cool. We're all friends here. Oh, let's all have a good time. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I gotta do a bunch of videos today. I gotta play catch up on the Zanpakuto video. I gotta do my review for Ticket to Paradise. I gotta pre-record tomorrow's Who Will Win and tomorrow's What If. So I got quite a few more videos to do. But I'm gonna do them. Until then, later.